Deze is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss. What is up, guys? I hope everyone is ready for another great show. Last week, we celebrated 6 years. This week, we're on the first of that 6th year, onto the 7th, and ready
What does this make
to,
us? Season 7? Is that where we're at? Season 7?
I guess, man.
Some of the
I
best
know-
TV shows you ever watched didn't even make it to 7 seasons.
That's true. That's true. So I'm excited. It's going to be a great time, but also, guys, like we got so much moving forward with Martial Arts Center Network, as we have some new things coming up soon, and hopefully you guys will see myself and also Brett this weekend and talk to us about the future of Martial Arts Center Network and some cool things we have coming out for you guys. And we're going to be getting some pictures, getting some information, and just sharing with you the future of the main gang. All right, so get ready soon, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a huge, just a huge step forward for our sport and what we are doing as a part of it. So it's going to be exciting. Can't share all of it yet, but we'll be releasing some things soon this week and next week. All right. So if you guys are on board watching right now, comment, let us know who's watching, and share what is going on. We have lots of fun things going on episode 303. We're going to be talking about Billy Blanks. I'm sure everyone wants to know about what happened this weekend with that. We got Quit Talking. Just imagine what that is. And then some insights into some techniques. And also we're going to talk sweeps as well. All right. So this is going to be fun. We may have a special guest. We don't know, but we'll see. And we're going to have a great time. So, Alex, let's see. You're busy working this weekend, right?
Well, yes, I'm always busy. It's just a different busy.
Me too. I'm always busy too, just different busy.
Here's what's different. This past weekend, like all my guys have been DJing events. I have not. I'm on a couple weeks where I don't personally have anything, and as soon as September hits, like I'm not gonna breathe until like the end of November. Right? Like
that's cool.
Triple back to back to back, quadruples back to back to back to back. Like it's gonna be nuts, right? September.
So this will be the year, right? This will be the year that we won't see you at Diamonds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had said something about that. Yeah, I remember.
It's gonna suck for that, but financially it will not.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what are you gonna do? But you know what's interesting is my son Zachary. He wants to get into fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So he has no idea like what it takes.
Right.
Definitely no idea what it costs. Right. So, but like when you fish, like you can't just like do it any time. So he's like, hey, let's just go. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 94 degrees. And I am like, get about it. Like it's not gonna happen. But then like unless you know, like you don't know, like, how are you gonna know? Right. But then also like my wife, it's kind of like her dad and her brothers were great fishermen, like really, really good, right? They really grew up in the wrong state. They should have lived in Minnesota, right? So they are phenomenal fishermen. But she didn't really get in. She's like, I don't need to do any of that. So that's kind of got to tell her a little bit too, like, hey, this is kind of the thing. This is what we need. We're probably gonna get like a Texas rig for something like that. And then I got to explain what that is. And then almost $1,000 later on gear, like, oh yeah.
Wow, you went in.
Oh, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is I can't just get one for me
Yeah.
And my son, my one, I got to get it for 2 sons. Then I got to get it for the oldest, like my daughter, she's gonna feel left out. And then
Yeah.
Lindsay's like, "What, are you gonna get one for everybody but me?" Like, all right, then there's that. Then you got to get tackle. Then you got to get tackle box. Then you got to get lures. Then you got to get line. Then you got to get all sorts of gear. But then once you get it, like when you catch the fish, you're going to want to do what? Eat the fish if you get fish that you can from a place that you can. So now you got to get fillets, and then you got to get weights, and you got to get scales, and you got to get buckets, and you got to get nets, and then you got to get backups for all this stuff. Like it does not end. But then it's also like an addiction. Once you get into it, like you don't even need to catch anything to be addicted. Like you could just get you could get one that grabs your line and then let's go. And you're like, oh, this is awesome. I'll fish for 10 more hours now. Like it's almost a curse. But what are you gonna do? So this is what he says. All right. He says, Zachary, now he wants everything is fishing. Like I'm like, you don't even know what you're doing, guy. So he watches the show River Monsters. You ever seen the show River Monsters before? Which is basically like Survivor Man, but for literally river monsters. Like there's a reason why they call it that. It's an accurate name for the show. And so there's this one they were watching was about alligator gars, which are it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's a nasty fish that you can catch in some lakes, but in rivers, right? And all over you can catch them like they're in the States, right?
Yep.
And they're like a nasty fish. And so Zachary's like, Dad, we're gonna catch alligator gar, and this is gonna be so big. This is gonna be this big, Dad. And I'm like, no, I don't want no parts of that. What are you talking about? Right? I'm like, let's catch a bass. Wouldn't that be good? Yeah. No, catch alligator gar. Gosh.
All right. So yeah. So wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm into.
That's awesome. That's great. Oh man. So our first topic we're going to talk about, let's just go in the biggest one, man. Let's talk about Billy Blanks. So if you are lived under a rock for all these years and you say you're in sport martial arts, but you have no idea who Billy Blanks is. Billy Blanks is one of the original stars of sport karate from the 80s, late 70s, 80s. And then guess what? He moves to California. He starts doing some movies, and then he starts Tae Bo, right? And Tae Bo is
one of the best things for martial arts, really.
Well, it is, but it's also like it's got to be one of the highest like grossing, cardio fitness type programs that ever has existed, right? So, I mean, and so he's been doing that for years, operating those. He's still staying in amazing shape for all these years. But lately, he's been posting videos of teaching in his garage. All right, him and
that's right.
Some of his buddies, his old school friends that are working out. I think Dale Jacoby is one of the guys that has been around for a long time, training with him and practicing. And then they have some students that he's started teaching, or maybe he's always taught, and maybe we hadn't seen it, right? Who knows? But his birthday was Friday. He turned 70. And then
happy birthday, Mr. Blanks.
Yeah. So he said, day after my birthday, I'm going to compete. I'm going to compete at the Long Beach Internationals, So Steve Cooper still putting on the internationals out there. And you know what? I know Bill Viola was out there and representing Waco. Jack was out there. Lots of these guys were out there. And so he competed in the 70-plus division, him versus Mr. Weaver. Tyler Weaver's dad. And they were fighting. And so I tell you what, man, it was wild. It was a lot of fun just to watch it. Of course, I think the first move he did his cartwheel or his aerial, and you know what? Hey, 70-year-old guy doing that, that's impressive right there. So what's pretty cool is just seeing, how he's been teaching, watching some of the videos, seeing his levels, yes, some things are a little different the way he still teaches very old school, right? but
Yeah.
he focuses a lot on the double action kick, on how to change levels with your kick to set someone up to open up for your hands. Using that backhand body punch. Still teaching the old school like California Blitz, if you've seen that, with the switching the feet. So it was cool to. It's been great watching his videos. But then for him to get out there, do that day after his birthday. Then after that, or maybe it was the day before, they had a party for him. Ernie Reyes Sr. was, celebrating with him. They honored him into a Hall of Fame. They award him a Grand Mastership. They did a Hall of Fame ceremony that they always do for the internationals. And he was there for that. So it was just a huge weekend honoring Billy Blanks while also, like him getting out there and saying, hey, I'm going to train. I'm going to do this again. So it was fun. What do you think?
Dude, it's really cool because I think about fighting now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Like I just said those words and my hips hurt saying that.
Right.
Now, part of that is because I still want to try to do what I did, but there's no way that's going to happen. All right. But the thing is nuts about Billy and there's video of him fighting. And when we met each other, when I actually met him, had a conversation with him, it was 2014, right? That was the first time I actually met him, right? And I knew, obviously everybody knew who Billy Blanks was,
Right.
Even if you didn't see him compete, all right? If you were a martial artist in the 90s, it was impossible. If you were a person in the 90s, if you were alive, you knew who Billy Blanks was,
right,
because you knew of, obviously, like you just said, Tae Bo. So, which I still think was one of the most amazing things. Did you know that at one point when I was in high school, that you could take Tae Bo as a gym credit?
Oh, really?
You could take Tae Bo in my high school as a gym credit. That's how popular Tae Bo was. Absolutely amazing. And I am, but here's my prideful self. All right. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Right. Looking back at it now, I'm like, why didn't I just do that and just be like the best? Why didn't I just do that? Right.
Exactly.
I could have just went out there and then just been like a friggin' rock star. All right. But I didn't do that. So
the best time out before we go, the best video ever is that video, and it's a meme all over Instagram now.
I know which one.
Of the girl just kicking the multiple kicks over and over and over, right to like beautiful. And in the back, the other people in the back going like way down and
dying
like
for their life, fighting for their life.
Oh my God. It's the best.
But that's, yeah. And like, I would have, like, if I would have done that, like, I would have been that guy. But so anyway, I meet him. I've seen clips of him fighting. I didn't see him fight in person, right? Because I wasn't really competing at that time. It wasn't really in martial arts at that time, right? So, and if you watch him, like, he said it, and then I'm like, I think I remember that, like, and I went back and watched it, like, it was legit. Like, you kind of had to be jacked, right?
Yeah,
you kind of had to be, because he was like a light heavyweight, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, he was like either a middleweight or like a light heavyweight, all right? And you kind of had to be jacked because of how hard you fought. But he was like, yeah, my main move was like a rear hand reverse punch. I mean, most people were, right? But, and then he would hit people with a front flip.
Yeah.
And it was legit. Like, he hit people with a freaking front flip, you know? Yeah. And he did. And I'm like, I'm gonna go look at this again. And I remember, I met him at Ocean State. And then while I'm there, like that night, I go back to the hotel room and I'm watching it. Sure enough, dude's setting up because he's kind of doing like the bend down, hands on the knees thing, shooting the rear hand, and then he's down. You're down so low, it actually kind of works. It's you do lull them in, and then he legit was athletic enough to do a freaking front flip at someone.
Yeah.
Like, all right. sounds good, you know. And when I watched Kim Do do that in 2000, you
Yeah.
saw it too, right?
Yeah. 2000 and
And
2002. Yeah.
and the whole that's right,
Yeah.
right? The whole tournament lost their ever loving mind,
Yeah.
right? Like 20 years earlier, Billy
Yeah.
was throwing it.
I think why people lost their minds because he did it and then landed on his feet. Like that's what was crazy, right? When Billy did it, he went to the ground. He made sure, all right, and then he protected himself after with the kicks up in the air, right? Because if he fell to the ground back then, you were going to get followed up on if you missed,
Uh-huh.
and so his feet were ready to catch you coming in. So. One of the other things for me, always watch him. Yes, his backhand, but his front hand he would throw his back fist like a hammer fist. He would throw a hammer fist.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
dropped a lot of people, right? And cut a lot of people as well. So
Fighting was a tad different at that time.
yeah,
And I don't want to I mean I have said this, that I feel like the skill level is greater now than I think it's ever been. I mean, the skill should continually go up and up and up, right? I mean, I don't think that there's a world in where, you know, Esteban Tremblay would be dropped into 1994 and people wouldn't think that he's a freaking alien. You know
well,
what I mean?
right, true.
So the skill level should go up and up and up.
Yeah.
But there is just certain things. Like, I mean, we talked about it last week. Like, even like I struggle with it even when I'm teaching people and when I'm training, like really doing a ton of conditioning. And I think that your average black belt, just your average black belt, not competitor, was an amazing conditioned athlete, right? And you had to be, because being a black belt was a pretty revered thing.
Yeah.
By the time 99 came around, people like everybody kind of knew at least someone who was a black belt.
Yeah.
By the time we hit the 2000s, it was like, oh yeah, I know that guy. I know that guy.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of got a little out of hand. Great, because more people are doing martial arts. Maybe not so great because now not as many people respected
Correct.
it the same way, right?
Well, right.
So,
And you're talking about I mean, you look at the shape that he was in. You look at the shape that Nasty was in. Those guys that, Anthony Price was in, because he talks about making people throw up and riding that bike and do,
100%.
And Richard Plowden, all of these guys that were just in phenomenal shape, just ripped up,
and that's why, like when we talked about, like, what was the best era, it was and we all said when Coach was on, we all said it was the 90s. And ever since I said that, I'm like, man, I don't know that I agree with myself. I said that. I think it was the best era of martial arts. It's not even close. I think the 90s is the best era of martial arts. The best skilled martial artists and athletes, they're right now. The better fighters, the better martial artists, or the better performers. But like you said, they're not everybody is as chiseled and as jacked. Like Avery Plowden, looks like a drawn cartoon, right?
Yeah, right.
And he probably still would be then.
Yeah.
But there would be a lot of other people that look similarly to him, who are at least trying to look like him. Like that dude, he's a physical specimen, And I'm not trying to say like, oh, if you would have been there, you wouldn't be like, no, he still would be like that. But there were other guys too, right? And that's why, like, when I said, like, I remember winning divisions feeling like, man, if I was in the 90s, I don't know about that. It's because it was just a different culture. It was just a different time. Like, I don't know if it was 1996 instead of 2006, would I have won it the same? I was probably, just as skilled, but I was not as physically jacked as everybody else then. Was I a Brian Ruth? Hell no.
Right. That's true. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think congrats to him. Congrats to everyone that was a part of it. It was a really cool weekend and just a great thing to see one of our people come back and fight and show that, you know what? Hey, why
I'm so
not?
proud of him.
I mean, I would love to see more of these guys, get out and just do a weekend, and do something fun like that. Like I always talk about one of my favorite things growing up was Capital Classics used to put on the Dream Team versus whoever the top female team was right then. And the Dream Team was Linda Dinley, Arlene Lemus, and Rhonda Alexander. And this was in 93, 94, 95. About 10 years after they were, the top of the world, but they could still fight, right? They weren't
Yeah.
that far out of them being, because here's the deal. They still would win. They were beating Nikki Carlson and Peaches and Michelle Arango, so it was like, wow, all right. So that was always a really cool thing to see. The other side of that is just watching the other weekend. All right. So getting to in Capital Classics, watching Joey Shiflett versus Marty Eubanks for the 60 plus overall grand, like freaking awesome, just so much fun, watching two legends go out there and just kill it, I mean, I tell you, like that's what you want.
Yeah, I really hope that I can get to the point where like when I say like, yeah, I'm retired, I'm not doing that no more. Like maybe I hope that I can be like those guys one day. Maybe I'll put gear on when I get to that point.
Well, it's like someone I shared about before a couple years ago was Marty Knight, right? Marty Knight still, in his 60s for a while was going to every NASCAR tournament, competing, cutting weight and stuff. Like he just was still in the image. Just like, bro, all right, chill out, man. It's like, but he loves it. He has that passion for it. Now he's finally said, all right, I did it again to prove I can. And now, if I want to go out and have fun and fight, I will, So I love to see some of these guys go out there and just do one more, and for fun, something like this, to honor them,
Who's someone else that you would love to come out and see do one more? I could think of a couple.
Oh, there are definitely a couple. Is it someone in that same group or maybe younger?
Maybe a little bit younger.
All right, so
I say it like that because, man, once you start getting guys in their 60s and you ask them to be physically athletic and make contact with people, like, oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
That's scary. That's asking a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But maybe guys who are 50s.
Yeah, so 50s, that would be the era. Well, that would be like Johnny Tension. Yeah, that would be like Johnny in there.
50.
Yeah. So
crazy to say out loud.
It's crazy to say out loud.
Maybe he shouldn't, because that's not fair.
Exactly.
That's really not fair. Because Johnny's not. He's not normal, man.
No, he's not.
He's not. In a great way, because it's like he's such a great martial artist, yet I agree. I want to say it that way. He's such a great martial artist because even to himself, he said that he wasn't very good when he started. So I hate when people look at someone and they go, man, that guy's just a natural, because it actually discredits all the hard work that they do.
Exactly.
Right? Doesn't it? Because I know people have said that to you when people go, man, you're just a natural at this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a compliment, but you're like, you don't see like a thank you, but you don't see that that's kind of backhanded at the same time.
Right. Exactly. You don't see how not just the work, but also the mental work. And we'll kind of get into some of that too in a little bit later with breaking down some moves. But I think that's something that keeps people, like someone like Jody is someone like that. He's not just, physically gifted, but he's also, and not just he works physically harder than everyone else, he also works mentally harder than everyone else. And I think that is a big difference too. How much are you breaking down your moves? How much are you breaking down your technique, right? And I've shared about this many times. When Mason was on here, he shared about it, and I saw him, doing a video of him doing a seminar recently. It's the same thing I talk about. It's not just doing the form over and over. It's like, how many times are you doing each move in the form? You know, how many times are you doing the moves in each form to make them better? Not just
The
doing
knee up, the chamber.
Yeah.
How many times do you train how fast the knee comes up?
Correct.
How many times do you train how fast your hand recoil? Just doing that motion,
Right.
only focusing on that. Like, do you really do that? And it's
Right. And
we'll
then with
get
like
too nuanced if we go
Jody,
too far in that.
well, we can go into this, but like with
Yeah, I
Jody,
know.
we're talking about like the steps, the distance, the footwork of how much he's thinking about, hey, it's make it simpler instead of harder, right? And you know, I love it. So so we both say Jody. Who's someone else? I mean, I'd love to see the Brady's. You know what? Those are people that I would love
See,
to see.
Donald did that. Like Donald, like he already did that once.
Yeah, but he wasn't in his 50s then, was he? He was in his
Well,
40s.
He
Yeah.
wasn't.
No, yeah.
What? Here's one that would be crazy. What about Preston Clements?
Oh yeah, I love. He's not in his 50s. He's your age, right?
I think he's a couple years older than me.
He's a couple years older than you, so he's close. He's getting close. That's insane to me.
Not nuts.
I mean, I'm 41, so I guess it makes sense. I
Not
mean,
nuts.
it's kind of like,
Nuts, right? So then, I mean, I'll tell you one that I know would be great right away if you wanted to. Would be my homie, Greg Betlock. And I say that because he has a fighting style that doesn't really age. And that dude just, he is an athlete, right?
Yeah.
That dude stopped doing competitive martial arts to go do competitive CrossFit.
wow.
Like,
Wow.
that's just, they just do like obnoxious movements just for the sake of it. Like, here,
Yeah.
let's just
Exactly.
take a bar that's weighted and like suspend from it and then jump up with the bar and hook it onto something else and then do that 17 more times until you get to the top of a building. Like, stop for freaking what? What are we doing that for? Because I want to race some other freaking mutant human to see who can do all this stuff faster? What?
Oh,
That's the end result of this thing?
a mutant
The guy
human.
was good. Of course he was good, you know? So
Yeah.
I think he would be great. I was gonna say this one, but I don't know. I don't want to wish because I don't know that he can. So never mind. See, sometimes you also got to think about it. Some of these guys have physical ailments, and you don't want to wish some of those things on them. You know what I mean?
Well, right. Well, let's. This was something I almost put out today. Like I post things and questions on Facebook, and you know, my thing today was who was the best 3-man team of all time? Who's in your mind? Who was the best? And oh, here we go. And one of the things with that though was I really wanted to put, all right, if these fighters currently, like if they came back right now, right, who would win between CJB and JPM? And I wasn't saying like how they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago. I wanted to be like currently right now, right? But then that was my same
Trevor,
thing.
Jason, and Damon.
Can these guys fight again? Can't, you know, and you know, so it's just an interesting thing to think about, right? What'd you say, Alex?
I think the answer is yes. They would fight great. See, that's the thing is if you take those guys. All right.
Hey, hold on. While we do this, let's
bring him in.
What's up, Coach?
Hey,
Coach, what's happening?
What's up, guys?
We were just chatting about like guys because Billy came back and was fighting again. Billy Blanks.
Yeah.
We were talking about guys that we'd love to see. Like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if yada da came back? Who else would it be cool? You know, to see them make a comeback. And we were throwing some names out there, but you don't forget nothing. So.
Oh, I think Pedro Xavier.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
I've thought about that right away.
Well, yeah, and guys, everyone that saw him at US Open knows that he could still go because he's in.
He's still in great shape. Yeah, Pedro. Yeah.
So yeah.
Who's somebody else?
I would like to see. I'd like to see Ross do it one more time.
Yeah, and from talking to him, he could. Now, does he have the he's still thinking of it mentally, but he knows he doesn't have anything to prove. So it's not really, it's like, what's the point? But he still in his mind breaks down the sport and watches it,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and like we were just talking about different guys, and I threw out some names, and this is true for Ross as well. Ross Levine doesn't have like a fighting style that ages, like I have a fighting style that is not going to age well. You know what I mean? Ross Levine doesn't have a fighting style that's going to age poorly. You know what I mean? So
Right.
he primarily had 3 techniques, side
Ross,
kick, body punch, back fist.
that's why someone like Ross, Hamed, they can come back and still make an impact because they were smart fighters. Basically, they didn't waste techniques. Ability fighters, it's a lot harder to come back. When you look at Pedro as a great kicker, but he's also a very smart fighter. If you ever fought Pedro, he doesn't really waste techniques.
You think about the axe kick, but the axe kick wasn't what did it. It was the side kick that did it. And while you were so focused on the axe kick, people just, I don't, well, so many people have never seen him fight. He covered ground, and without you knowing he was even picking his foot up, he'd already slid in and side kicked you in the body because he saw that much room that he could get his foot in there. And it hurt too because he went so fast. It was the side kick.
When he side kicked, he was like getting hit with a spear.
Oh, yeah, that's what it looked like too. Yeah.
Yeah, I got hit with it a few times.
I was watching back an interview I did with Century a couple years ago, and it was asking about who my favorite fighters were or favorite competitors. And I explained that. I was explaining how, Pedro could do a defensive side kick offensively. Like it was the craziest thing, like move you away. Like it was just like, wait, what? He saw you coming, and then he would skip side kick you and kick you out of the ring.
Yeah. Oh, I would like to see John Payton come back too. I think John Payton would do well.
How is he? I mean, have you seen him around? Have you?
Yeah, I talked to him like last week. Yeah, we're gonna get together in like a week or two.
That's awesome.
Yeah. John is still in tremendous shape, and he was a very, very smart fighter. Never wasted techniques. Didn't use ability. John, I think, can come back and make a serious impact.
And John was one of my favorites to watch too, because of just the enthusiasm, the excitement. Every time he hit you and then he put the hand up, or he would just put his hands on his hips, wait for the call. I mean, it was just exciting to watch. Like, wait, dude, this dude just said, I hit you. What are you going to do? Yeah.
Well, when you got hit by John, you knew it. John was one of the hardest hitters out there.
And he trained with Billy, right?
Billy Blanks, yep. Him and Chris Rappold both came from Billy.
Wow. See, a lot of people don't even know that, right?
Yeah.
So pretty cool. And honestly, there's some people that I think, again, could make huge impacts on form still. Like, again, we talked so many times, like a Keith Weston. Keith Weston, I think he shows up at a tournament, people will get nervous. I mean, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's see this, and he's in his 40s. He could still come and compete in the 18 plus if he wanted to. Probably do better damage in the 30 and 40, but just the intensity and just the preciseness. And again, he's gotten smarter, so he knows what to look for, what to do.
I agree with that. When I brought Gabe back, people thought I was crazy. And Gabe came back and made an impact.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's still some people in that, like Gandhi. I would love if Daryl came back, and even at 40, he's probably 42. He could still flip as high as he did. So, I mean, I think he could still, next year is going to be a really fun time for the 30 plus as Rashad moves up and Reed Presley comes back and Tim is in there and all of us that were in there. So it's going to be really fun watching those 30 plus divisions in forms again. So
So that's crazy to me because Rashad is like eternally 24 in my eyes.
Right.
I mean,
He's still like a kid.
it's
Yeah,
like,
he's still like a kid.
he's like,
yeah.
I don't ever see him being 24. I'm like, you're not old enough to rent a car. What are you talking about?
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
he's a good guy too. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he is. All right, so Coach, all right, where do we want to go with this? There, we got lots of different ones. Let's break this down. Let's talk about. You want to do the sweep thing? Oh, did I miss something?
DDB.
Oh, yeah,
DDB
Drew.
said he's gonna come back.
Drew definitely does. All right, sweeps. We always do a top 5 of like who did the best technique or whatever a certain technique was, right? So this one is, who are some people that you think of when you hear sweeps?
Automatically, Billy Beeson.
Billy Beeson. All right, great.
The-
That is
So,
what we
Coach,
need.
I think I just have to be honest. You're gonna be very helpful for this because for the most part of when Jeff and I were competing and when we had our eyes on competition, there wasn't, not everybody was sweeping.
Right.
So you're really going to be, we're going to lean on you pretty heavy here.
Yeah, I mean, back when I was competing, that sweeps were allowed. Sweep, stomps, and one thing when you entered the ring with Billy Beeson, that's the one thing you were like, man, this guy's going to sweep, stomp me, and hit me hard. Billy, no matter what, he swept everybody.
Yeah. Oh man. And then in Europe it was still a thing. And there's a lot of
Still is
people
now, yeah.
now when they hear of sweeps or the best sweepers, they think of people in Waco, right? Or in Europe,
And they're great. They are great at it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're different. They sweep differently. So like Brett just chimed in and said Dean Barry, and Dean is very good, right? If you're in an open stance with Dean, if you're a right leg kicker and you're just picking up and floating forward, Dean's going to find a way to put you on your back at one point, right? But it's a different kind of sweep. He's just sweeping and then you fall over sometimes gracefully. But like what you're talking about, that's a totally different kind of sweep.
If you
Right,
swept,
like
you had to follow up. Yeah. You didn't get a point.
Sweep. Sweeps in Europe are a sweep is a point, and that's it. When I was competing, you had to sweep and immediately follow up, stomp or punch. The sweep was not a point, but it was a legal technique.
Right.
Right. Even back then when I first started fighting KA, little KA will sweep you too. Little KA was a good sweeper. The kid from Ireland, I forget his name. He was a good sweeper.
Dean Barry.
No, not Dean.
Robbie McMenemy.
Right. Yes, Robbie McMillan was a good sweeper.
He's very good because he's a different style. Because he's a weird style because he fights flat foot.
Yes, but he got Jason all the time. He did it once a fight. He would get Jason with a sweep.
Because those two are like two polar opposites of the way they fight. I mean, look at there's Robbie who just fights completely flat foot, and then there's Jason who's an athletic freak.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This was cool. Drew saying he saw John Payton do a dragon tail sweep on stage at US Open. The opponent never picked up his kick again.
Okay. Is that no, the dragon tail sweep? That's like the drop down swing all the way through.
Spin, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a center judge at a tournament where that happened, and I was like, oh, that's not allowed. All right. Oh crap, that was really cool that you did that.
The big guys too, Earl Bennett.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So one that I always saw, and I've seen a lot of video of, was Johnny Gyro. And
Johnny Gyro, yes, absolutely.
He did a lot of those in he's from the West Coast, I think California, right?
Yep.
Or maybe Nevada or something like that. But
Billy Blanks too. Billy Blanks used to sweep you. He would grab your leg and grab it with the other. He'd sweep you with his hand. He would sweep you with his foot. He would. People didn't know, but when he would blitz, sometimes he would kick your front foot and trip you up.
Okay.
Yeah. Billy was a good. He'd scissor takedowns. Yeah,
Right.
I've seen him do a bunch of scissor takedowns.
One of the only people I ever saw, because a lot of rules sweeps were illegal, but you could still do boot to boot, and a lot of people still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I saw Jack do it several times, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
see
Jack.
boot to boot people while he was doing that, you know, which just makes sense. It's Jack, right? So
Yeah.
he would
No,
do. He
Jack,
does a lot
Jack
of-
was probably the best at that, actually. Like boot to boot with a follow up. He was really good at that.
That's awesome.
He did it, but he would do it because it didn't really make sense. Because when Jack's doing it, the distance in where you're fighting people, culture, right? It was so much greater. You know, like when we're talking about the way when Billy's doing it, he's getting down boot to boot or grabbing the foot. You fight people a lot closer then. When Jack's doing it, right? You have to fight people so far away, yet somehow he's able to go boot to boot. Like he manipulates spacing so well.
Well, with the old time sweeps too, it was all timing. So they would catch you coming in. So it seemed like you were always close, but you weren't. We didn't always fight close, and they would do it off of the blitz, you know, and off of with the Shotokan, boom, boom, and sweep you right out. I mean, grab you, sweep you, you know, that was like really, really big.
Yeah, I mean, I love watching that the Shotokan or the Kumite, you know, now just for sweeps. You know, I mean, someone who always had great sweeps. Every time I saw him do traditional Kumite, it was Joey Castro. He always had some great sweeps. Yeah.
Joey's actually a real good fighter.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He's a good fighter.
So if people don't know, Amber Rutherford is a great Kumite fighter. She made the U.S. team for Kumite. So, yeah. Someone else we haven't mentioned yet, Gregorio De Leo, of course, is someone who most people are gonna, you know, share about. We said Dean Barry. I even think, I mean, I've seen Linda. Linda was a great sweeper back in her day. You know, watching her do some of those. Again, back then it was just. And then the one Billy Jack, I think it's one of the most incredible videos of him sweeping and really not even sweeping, taking down, you know, Ray McCullum on his neck, right, and just sweep. I mean, it's just nasty. But his back in the day were just crazy. And Alex and I were talking earlier about Brian Ruth. Brian Ruth would do it.
Yes.
And even when he wasn't supposed to, right?
He was
didn't that cause us a problem?
People as recently as like 2015.
Yeah,
we had him on our team for one day because
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Now, when I think about like, it's technically it's a sweep, right? But it's not the sweep that everyone thinks of. But Nasty would do something where people would blitz and he would just drop down to all fours and then they would fall over him.
Over
and then
your back.
Yes. And so in some ways that's a sweep. It's a different type of sweep, but it was a sweep.
Definitely a takedown. Speaking of Brian Ruth, Marty and Thomas Wright were also good sweepers.
Marty is someone I wrote down as well.
Yeah. So I mean that whole stable, you can tell that what they worked on in their dojo, and sweeping definitely was something.
Yeah. Alex, what were you gonna say?
Well, you brought up Gregorio De Leo with the sweeps, and he's very good. I mean, I think there's a video of him fighting like Zolt Murati, like the Austrian Classic, where he sweeps Zolt like 7 times, right? And Zolt literally goes like upside down plus, right? And so if you want to say like, oh, how good was he? Like, it's still out there. But I also kind of hated him because all of his guys were pretty good at it. And then I got swept once. Like when you get swept and you don't know it's coming and you don't think it's like, you fall hard, right? And I fell hard and I was filled with rage, right? Like I made sure like I'm finishing this by a spread this round right now. But I was so upset, right? But he's so good at that move. He's very good. But Coach, I got a question, because when you're talking about like the takedown, when you reach and you grab the leg, break that down for me. How is that really? Because I've never done that. How do you? Because it's kind of a sweep, but it's really like a takedown. How do you go grab the leg and take someone down?
Well, actually, there's a video out there now with Billy doing it. Someone kicking and he goes right underneath, almost like the drop back fist, but instead of doing the back fist, he grabs the leg and pulls it up. Grabs it right by either at like the Achilles tendon or right at he grabs the pants. Boom, you can grab the pants and pull it right up.
That's what I thought. It was the pan. Okay, so the same way you duck under and backfist,
Yep.
you duck, but you just grab lower and pull it
Yep.
right out.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
He steps right into it. Yeah.
Now, from talking to Magic Johnson, that was the reason why headgear even came about, right? Because of those types of sweeps and things, because people were fighting on concrete and then they were getting slammed and just head going right to the concrete. It wasn't necessary to protect from what we think of concussions or getting hit. It wasn't that. It was more the sweeps and the stomp.
Well, don't forget, headgear started after. I'm not going to mention any tournaments, any names, anything like that. But there was a tournament where someone got hit the ground, and when we used to compete in like DC, the big arenas and stuff like that, it was a cement floor. There were never no mats, so you can sweep and everything on the cement floors, hardwood floors, whatever floor you're on. But this was a cement floor, and someone got hit by someone, hit them. They hit the ground, hit their head, and they ended up passing away at that tournament.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And that right there was when they started putting the protests in, starting using the headgear. And it was, yes, because of the hitting your head on the floor. But supposedly the gentleman, God bless him, he had some underlying conditions also. So, there was a whole lot to that. And right after that incident is when the headgears really started coming out.
And what I had heard is it actually wasn't like the headgear we see now. It was just more like a band almost that
with a pad in the back.
Pad in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, because those original ones, there was like nothing on top.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And was it still like the old school safety? Is that what it was, or was it Century? Were they doing anything at that point?
I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
I mean, back then there was a lot of June Ree stuff. It could have been that. I mean, I don't
probably was.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, to be honest with you.
All right.
Because they had also them in the knuckle punch. Remember little knuckle punch gloves just went over your knuckles?
Yeah, right over there. Yeah. I've seen videos of pictures of that. I mean, the ones that I always liked were the ones that Linda always had because they were like square. They were flat on the top, right?
Oh, Linda, I hated them gloves. Like Linda Denley wore them. Like she loved them. I don't know. I didn't like them gloves. Your hand was always a fist.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even as recently, so like we have tournaments that still don't have mats where I live, right? And I shared a couple weeks ago, my stepson Wesley, like he got same thing. Legs went up. The other guy lifted his leg. He went up in the air. His head bounced off the ground. Got a bad concussion, and and he had a headgear on, but on gym floor, hard floor. So it's crazy.
Mean, banging your head, even with the headgear on, with a mat, you're still going to get a concussion.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not a guarantee. I mean, a lot of times there's a lot of people that just do sport karate. They don't do martial arts, so they don't know how to fall. And they
or they just don't even think. It's a weird thing when you're thinking of. Some just don't know how to switch it into that state. They're thinking, okay, I'm just in this right now. I'm not trying to. There's some that think that in our style of fighting right now, it's not like it was before. One of the things is like, no, we're in here fighting. You're like, all right, I'm doing this fun thing that I enjoy doing. Like it's a weird thing to think about, but there are people that think that way, right? And it's like, what, you're gonna get hurt, so you got to protect yourself.
People now say that they're going to a tournament to compete.
Right.
Back a while ago, they say I'm going to a tournament to fight. It's a big difference. I mean, everybody, you think about stepping in a ring and you got Kevin Thompson, EJ Greer, Donald Brady, Ronald Brady, Pedro, Dave Randall, Marty Eubanks. I mean, you got a slew of people that are going to hit you hard. I mean, you can't let your guard down. I mean, now it's more of a game of tag than ever.
Right.
You know, the one thing I don't like, it's like if you watch old videos, it was harder to get 3 points in 2 minutes. Now scores are 15-10. You know,
10-point
it's
spreads.
ridiculous. You know, it's everybody's scoring like over 10 points, and they're calling things before they hit. Before when somebody takes off, they're already automatically pointing their finger without anybody ever even hitting. So it had watered down where nobody's able to even double up anymore, or anything like that. So
That is
it's a different era.
So I think that's where, the Kappa thing is going to work out great for you guys, because I think the biggest thing for that is that blocks aren't a thing anymore. And they're not a thing because if somebody, I used to make fun of him so much that I brought him into a rage. And my friend, Greg Betlock, I made fun of him all the time. We would train and he would blitz. He would do his punch back fist blitz, and he's very good. But if I would turn and I'd miss hitting him, he'd hit me in the butt and the shoulder and would complain that he wouldn't get the point. I'm like, you had 2 chances to hit me, didn't hit nothing. And he would get so pissed, and that he would just now run shop over everybody. And I was very good at pushing his buttons. However, but that today, all 5 are given that point. And I'm like, well, see, now you're de-incentivizing blocking. So if somebody, kicks at me or blitzes at me, specifically blitzing, because it's so fast that we want to reward the speed and the athleticism of doing that. But now you're de-incentivizing actual martial arts, which is blocking. Like, blocking's not a thing anymore. So now I can't do this. I can't protect myself. Protecting myself is bad. So now the clash is the only block you can have. Yeah. So now what do we do? How is the competitor? The competitor won't even try to block anymore because you told them it doesn't do anything.
I mean, I don't know if Kappa will really help that part, because our competitors really willing to hit anymore. I mean, if someone fights Cam, I mean, a lot of people are petrified to fight Cam. They're like, because he's out there hitting. He's an old school style fighter. I mean, I love it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all. And people have protested it. People have written about it. People have talked about it, but come on. I mean, it's fighting. You're stepping in that ring. I mean, Cam is that old style fighter. You let your guard down, he's gonna hit you. And we need a little more of that.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, though, when you're saying everybody's scoring 10 points, and it's because we started this whole show 6 years ago. Our first hot topic was everybody does Japanese forms when they're actually a Korean stylist, and they do that because when they compete in a traditional division, they pretty much de-incentivized actually doing a Korean form. So now we have Korean form black belts doing Japanese form because you told them that's what wins. But in fighting, it's the same thing. If you always call a blitz that hits someone in the butt, and you never reward someone for actually blocking, they'll stop blocking because it's wasted efforts. Yeah. So now blitzing at someone's backside is a point. I could do that super fast. All right, I'll give that one a shot. What's the point in blocking? It does nothing for me, right? So now we do that. Everyone's scoring 10 points. I don't want to poo-poo that. That's hard to do, right? It is hard to do. It's very hard. It's very fast. I'm not that fast, all right? But we blocking has to be a thing because, like you said before, people go to a tournament to compete, and some of them are just competitors. They're not martial artists. We need to bring back martial arts.
Yeah.
The way they're calling points took a lot away from kickers, because people are diving in, blitzing without hitting anything and getting points. Right. I mean, we basically, Enrique
we want to take away 2-point kicks. We want to take away 2-point body kicks, which I'll concede to if points are getting called, but we want to give points to punching someone's backside. infuriating.
Listen, if they take away 2-point kicks, we won't have any more kicks.
Yeah.
We won't have any more kicks. That's a shame. I mean, Enrique right now, just because of his distance flexibility, is really he's the successful one as being a dominant kicker.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you notice, I mean, now with Damon behind him, he's becoming more of a successful kicker, and placing his techniques to beat people that he hasn't been beaten, and he won more grands this year than he has ever, if I'm correct.
Yeah. The past. I mean, it's impressive what he's done, and I mean his level of kicking is one of the best. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, and I mean, and I give credit, Enrique. I always told him, that was one kid I wanted to coach, and I got my chance for one tournament, and Damon, when he went with Damon, I mean, Damon's a smart coach. He's a good coach. He's not a cheerleader, and he's going to tell you on your distance and what you're doing wrong, and help a fighter out. He will really help a fighter out, and it shows right now. It shows in their team, shows in their fighters. Damon's doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at both of those guys who've improved. One, Enrique, but also you look at D Stacks at Kareem.
D Stacks,
who's shown so much improvement over the past year, really, maybe 2 years. I mean, 2 years definitely over, since we've seen, but just this past year of just the consistency of him winning his heavyweight grands is amazing, right?
Yeah,
because he always had the ability to float his foot up, and that was a big difference maker. Is he had the ability to float it up, but there wasn't always like purpose to that kick. I mean, we saw it float up, and we were like, "Oh, dang!" All right. Imagine if. Well, now we're seeing the if.
I mean, yeah, you think of just all the people that have been poured into that kid. I mean, with Jesse Ray, with Cameron, and now Damon. It's like, wow, right?
It's interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, it does make a difference. And, when I remember when I was coaching Damon, I told Damon, I said, Damon, why are you ever, he used to do like a step back fist. And I'm like, why are you ever stepping back? You're big as a mountain. Meet everybody in the middle. Soon as people blitz him, he met him in the middle. It changed his whole fight game. Nobody wanted to blitz him anymore.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It was interesting since you said that, Coach, because you just said you coach Damon, and before that you said, Damon's a great coach. Think of the people that you've impacted, not just as a competitor, but also as a coach. Like, there's quite a few people if you think about it that way.
Right.
Well, I would hope I did. I had a good time. I had great team members with me. I mean, I really did. I've been blessed to have coached so many people and everything. I mean, the funniest one was Hamed. When Hamed got on my team, he said to me, Coach, he said, can I ask you a question? He said, I used to beat Ryan McGriff every time. And when he got on your team, I never beat him. How come? I said, Hamed, I said, all I told Ryan was to take one step back off the line, because you got him every time right off the line. And once he took that one step back off the line, you couldn't jam his leg.
Because Hamed would like inch at the line, do everything he could to try to get
inch his way through that line. Yes. So, I mean, it's little things that as a coach, I mean, I've coached some people that I really never had to coach. I mean, Nikki Carlson, I mean, I really never had to coach her. I just watched.
That was the best job in the house, right?
Yeah, she was one of my easiest. Nikki Carlson Lee.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Well, I mean, Mallory, whatchamacallit, Mallory was one of my most favorite people to coach. I could tell Mallory jump up, spin around 3 times, and then shoot a drop down groin kick, and he would. Mallory, no matter what I told him, he would do it on the dime. And he Mallory was probably the best person I ever coached as far as listening and that.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Well, even now, like, I mean, your relationship with Sam Gagnon it seems to be a great one, and he's a good coach as well, and
Right.
you coached him. But what's funny is Sam's accent sometimes. If you're not used to Sam, you always say, "What? What?" Right? Like he said to me
Listen,
one
Sam.
time. He said to me one time,
Sam
he's
is
like,
my brother.
Yes.
Sam is my brother, and yeah, Sam at one tournament, I think it was the U.S. Open, and we were fighting, I think, Paul Mitchell, and Sam was just on the side, and we had our 4, and Sam was our 4th, and I said, "Sam, let's go," and he's like, "I'm not ready, coach," and I screamed at him, like. And ever since then, Sam would be on that line, even if he wasn't fighting with his gear, ready to go ever since. Yeah, the one time I called him, he's like, he wasn't ready. And oh, man, I reamed him out for that.
He brings that up too, by the way.
Oh, does he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why he's Sam. The one thing about me and Sam is when we're coaching, 99% of the time we have the same idea, same thought, and we will say the same things. You know what I mean? And most of the time he wants me to coach Dwayne, because he wants me to be that coach for Dwayne, and that's his instructor. So that says a lot, for Sam and his trust in me and in our relationship. That's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is Sam. Like I don't see myself really without Sam as far as a team.
Right.
That says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Oh man, there was another thing I was going to ask you. Oh, all right. So coach, all right. Cause again, we talked so much about you coaching, but share with us what it was like fighting on Paul Mitchell. Cause you share a lot about that team that you guys had, that you guys won the first Super Grands, I think, right? And share about that. And also, what were some of the toughest teams you guys fought against back then, in like 89, 90, 91, right?
Yeah, the toughest team we fought really was Metro.
Okay.
We were always in a battle with Metro where it's crazy because we were the second team. It was me, Babcock, and maybe Chris Rappold.
Okay.
And the other team was Pedro, John Payton, and Alberto.
Okay.
We might have had Alberto sometimes, but our team actually beat Donald Ronalds and Mafia more than the other team because of our matchups.
And that's what did those look like? How did that go down? Because Steve Babcock, he's a good fighter, but he is interesting. So how did Steve match up?
He's like an awkward fighter, but he's very strong. He kicks and he hits hard, and he's very long.
Right.
Yeah.
Long, and he gave Mafia fits, and I fought Donald a lot better than I fought Ronald. So when I was on that other team, I always ended up fighting Donald. So that was a better fight for me. And it might have been Alberto. Alberto fought Ronald way better, and Steve fought Mafia real good, threw him off. It's like you put Steve and another one was Cheech Luzzy. Cheech Luzzy was like that same awkward style fighter, but he would beat Mafia too. Like he beat like some real good players. Their style is a little awkward, throws you off. I mean, Alberto too. Alberto he's one of the only people I think that like I never beat Alberto. Like it seems like he does everything wrong, but hits you with it. His round kicks are coming from this way and that way, and like then that's not supposed to hit me from over there.
Well, what I love about, like you said, just, Chris, Steve, and y'all three are still involved in the sport. You know what I mean? Like that's what I love, and majorly like involved in it and love it. So it's so cool.
And we're still involved with each other. I was just up 2 weeks ago at Chris Rappold's school a few weeks ago, and visiting with him, helping him out, and one of his guys, and that's when we called John Payton. So I'll go up there again, and we'll get together with John Payton. I talked to Pedro. That this is like the martial arts gives you a whole different family. You know what I mean? It's great. I mean, I wouldn't trade that for the world. The friendships that I have through martial arts is incredible. I've met some really, really good people and at the tournaments.
Oh yeah. I mean, you just so many stories, and just great times. And again, if you get all of us together, we'll just sit and we could say stories until 4 or 5 in the morning. We're like, all right, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore.
My funniest coaching story was Cass Sigmund. Do you remember what happened to Cass Sigmund in Ireland?
Go, Alex. You were probably there in Ireland.
No, I was not. Not for this. Not with Cass. Please tell me.
It was full circle. Yeah. And you never heard that story? When Cass fought, he stepped up a division, I think, just to knock some people out of the division for somebody else.
I know he took gold, which is taking gold.
He stepped up in there. There's this guy, forget his name. He was big as a mountain, huge guy. And Cass hits him. Cass turns around. This is my first time ever coaching Cass. I've seen him since he was a little kid. This is my first time ever coaching him. And this guy turns, looks. Cass has just got his hands down. He does like a Bruce Lee step inside kick. Boom! Hits Cass. And Cass is walking back to the line like, and every time he steps, the breath is getting deeper and deeper. He's like, he couldn't breathe. So I start laughing. I'm cracking up so hard. So I can't say the real word he said, but he was like, what the heck kind of coach are you? Oh, Cass.
So funny. That's so funny.
That was like my funniest coaching story ever.
Oh my gosh.
Coaching him.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Cass was always just a fun one, man. One of my best friends for a long time when we were in that phase there. But we had recently, last month or 2 months ago, Brian was on the show. Brian Plimple was on the show.
Brian Plimple.
And,
that was a good show.
It was a really good show, and I think he's going to come back soon. He shared a lot of just, great stories about he wishes that, he could have had you as a coach, at least, for a year or a season, right?
Did say
and that would have been, something that he needed at that point of his career.
I wish that he did come to our team, and then decided, just to go to JPM. So,
right. I know. I mean, it is what I mean. Again, both things would have been great for him. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, being that opportunity that he took for him, it was great for him because he got to really, like he says, build a relationship with Jody and those guys. It really helped him as a competitor and the professionalism of what it was to be a fighter. But he knows he needed you as a coach at that point to take him that next level. And it was also what he said was different from where before fighting Raymond and Jody, he was the guy that was trying to kill them. And now being with them, it was a different kind of vibe, right?
Yes. Well, there you go. Brian, come back. I'll coach you.
Well, one of the ones I thought you were going to say was one of the most, interesting or funny people to coach. I thought you would say would be like Jason Grenier, because Jason Grenier, when you were talking about like Steve Babcock being just like long and awkward, Jason Grenier is a phenomenal. He's a good martial artist. He's a very good, accomplished fighter, and he's good. But every time you saw, you would watch Jason, like everything he would do, you would kind of look at it and go, yeah, I'm better than that. I can do that better. But no, I'm way better. But you fight him and you're like, I don't know what the heck you're doing, guy. All right. How is this? How is it so hard to fight you?
The thing about Jason was when he first got on the team and came over here, I picked him up when he fought in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm like, this kid's a good fighter. When he came here, he lost. And then he'd go to Canada, win. Then he come here and lost. So I told him, I said, Jason, close your eyes. I said, just make believe you're in Canada. We're in Canada now. Okay. And ever since then, I swear to God, you ask him, ever since then, he won in the US. And he only had a stretch like this, but he'd kick everybody in the head.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, though.
Right.
We're like, take a guy who really looks like he can't kick at all. Like he looks like he kicks at like a blue belt level, but then kicks everyone in. Kick Raymond in the head. And you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, probably in the beginning, one of the hardest people were was Rene Perol.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he didn't speak English.
Oh,
he was fighting Trevor one time. We were at the Diamonds, and I'm like, I give him this whole thing to do. And I'm like, you understand? He goes, no, coach. I said, damn, I just said all that for what? And he's like, no wonder I don't understand, coach. I said, kick, punch, go. Okay, coach. And he ended up beating Trevor.
That's awesome.
That's what he understood. Kick, punch, go.
Well, what was funny would be Rene would like fight with us for a while and then disappear and then be home for a while and not speak English. And then we come back and then it was like starting all over again.
Yeah.
Almost like all the time. Yeah. It would be like, because when you're talking about, he was already on the team for 2-3 years by that time, or maybe 4 years. And then it was like, well, I still don't understand. It's like, he'll be gone for a long time and then come back and finally, then get in that groove again and start speaking English. But yeah.
You remember the training camp? You got kicked in the shin by a horse before the camp?
Before the camp. Yeah. That was the first one.
What?
Yeah, that was 2000. Yeah. Yeah. We got kicked in the shin.
In the shin by a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was nasty. Yeah. He couldn't do that much stuff.
He still went through that training camp.
He did. Everybody was sore after then. I don't know who took it the hardest. That was a tough one. I don't know.
Who was the best in the training camp?
Probably was Freddie LePan there?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like Freddie. Freddie was always in great shape.
Always in great shape. Yeah.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Freddie LePan. I mean, Rene didn't do too bad.
No.
But he was hurt.
Right.
He was hurt. We did our sparring session, and Claire kicked Thomas in the head. Thomas hauled off and hit her with such a rich hand, she went down.
Yeah, that was yeah. Those were good times.
He was so mad that Claire kicked him in the head.
And then we were in Miami the next year, and we were fighting. We did a 2-on-2 like team fighting tournament, and that was so much fun.
Oh, Spencer put up like $300, right?
Yeah,
a couple $100.
Yeah,
to the winning team. Yeah.
Are you guys like amongst the team?
Yeah, it ended up having like 5 teams, and it was the finals were Trevor and I versus Leroyce and Jason. Yeah, that was where. Yeah, because I did similar. I thought I'm going to ridge hand Claire. Well, I'm also like, a lot shorter. While I ridge hand Claire, my hand went right in her throat. I just ridge hand the grab of her throat. It was so funny. But so I had to fight her, and then Trevor fought Russ Taylor.
Russ Taylor. Now Russ Taylor was the sleeper of the tournament.
Of all sleepers.
Oh,
yeah, Russ was like that person should be on a porch playing a guitar. Like
like skateboarding or something. You're like, what the heck? Yeah, like anything but fighting. Yeah.
He had that dry sense of humor. You never knew when he was serious.
Oh
was
yeah,
Russ.
you never knew. And then when Tom got on the team, those two together were like,
Tom Roberts. Yeah.
Tom Roberts and Russ together were trouble, man, because they grew up in the same dojo. They had very similar, and they were always pranking and joking on people all the time. That year was nuts.
Let's see, Tom Roberts, I would think would be someone that would be aggravating to coach. Like I wouldn't know how to coach Tom Roberts because he fights flat foot too.
No, Tom Roberts was actually he listened. See that's the thing with coaching. That's where you can never make a fighter do what they can't do.
Right.
So you have to know your fighters. Okay. It's
and
like
no
being
option.
an instructor. Like if you have everybody coming out of your school doing the same thing, not everybody's going to be good at it. Right. You know, you have to work on your fighter's abilities. So Tom Roberts being a foot fighter, but he covered a lot of distance when he lifted his leg with that boom, 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 you know, and, so you just worked off of your fighters and know what they did and tell them when to do it. You know? So Tom was very, very coachable.
It's so weird because his fighting style would be like someone who's just like old and out of shape. And then just out of nowhere, it would just be this crazy athletic movement. Like what? And you just kick the distance of the ring. Right. And you'd be like, oh, you're actually kind of ripped. What the heck is going on here? Why are you standing here flat foot like you're 44?
But when Tom, I think we were at Bluegrass, Jeff, you were there, Bluegrass, when we were team fighting, and I had Russ doing all the team fights. Then we came to, I believe it was Paul Mitchell, and I think Brian Ruth was on Paul Mitchell. And they were so set on Brian Ruth fighting Russ Taylor that I switched and put my alternate in, and Tom fought Brian Ruth. And it threw their whole game plan off.
Yeah.
It threw them all off.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when that was, but yeah, I mean, I know because that year we had Tom, Russ, Josh, and Jason and Damon, and like that was I think that was very good when all of them were on the team.
Yeah, Josh was a good fighter too. He was my Elias killer. He gave Elias fits. Because Elias is someone that can run points up on you. But Josh always kept it close with him, that style, because he always did that back kick. The back kick would always throw him off.
Yeah.
Which is, I'll say this, that's a good testament to you, Coach, because Elias Lemon his style doesn't change. Like he probably could come and do what he did when he was competing right now as well, because it doesn't age poorly, because he's probably 6'1", 6'2", all right, but would kind of make himself look like he's 5'9", all right, and then would just kind of do incrementally kicks here and then would extend his leg out there. But if you can get your kick just above his hip before he can, now he can't kick. And if you go kick for kick, Josh and Elias is just longer, right? You'll lose Josh. So you have to be strategic about how you do that. So,
and that's exactly what I would tell him, to kick at his hip. Leg up first, kick at your hip. Push him back off that.
Yeah. You can't let your pride get in the way of it and say like, I'm better than that. Because I used to lose to Elias like that. And Elias would even tell me like, Alex, you're a better kicker than me. And I'm like, dude, and I'd go out there trying to be a better kicker than him and would lose because he's longer than me and he can extend farther than I can. And it would just aggravate the heck out of me. So I can't kick with him because math says I can't reach that. Right. The only person where math didn't matter was Jason Borelli. All right. Guys, 5'8" can beat guys who are 6'2" when extending the same way. It doesn't make any sense. But so what Josh was doing with Elias, the way you coached him, is perfect. Don't take your pride out of it. Just stop his leg from being able to do anything. And now you got the guy beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many stories, so many great people that we could share about today. Coach, how are things feeling just right now with what you're doing currently in your life, and as far as what you're doing in sport karate? Share with everyone what your feelings are.
Well, I mean, I went to just the Ocean State. That was the only tournament I went to. And last year, I believe the same thing. That was my coach's tournament, so I always go there and do that with Don. I may go to Atlantic City, depending on how things pan out. If I finish, I have a fence company. I'm very busy with that right now. I closed my school, but actually back in last September, and this September be a year, and I'm opening another one. So I'm going to open up my school again, get back into that. I still train my boxers. My boxers are doing very well. I got one guy right now 4-0 as a pro, one guy 6-0 as a pro, and they're fighting. One of them's fighting in 2 months at Mohegan Sun again. So, I'm doing well with that. I really like that. I really like the boxing aspect of things. So I really do. That's a whole different world. It's a whole different world, and I like it a lot.
Jody and Obeda are giving you a little love here. Jody, good to see you, man.
Yes,
We
sir.
were mentioning you a ton of times on the show. I don't know if you heard that already.
Yeah.
Always great, man.
Jody's the man. He's all over the place doing what he has to do. I love listening to him, and he actually listening to him and watching a lot of his videos. I still sneak around and watch the videos and stuff. It does inspire me, and if I watch too many of them, I may show up. So I can't watch too many. He is starting to start loving karate.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh man. All right, Coach. You got anything you want to share before we go?
No, congratulations to you guys. You do a great job, and I'm glad it's a success. You guys deserve it, and you're really helping the sport out. Keep it up.
This is a great one. Mike P says, thanks. Even though half the time you're telling people to kick my ass, but that's funny, Mike P.
Mike's a great guy. I watched him as a kid. He used to be from around here, so he used to compete all the time over here. I watched him grow up as a kid. He was an awesome fighter.
Yeah.
I would like to see him come back because he can make an impact because he's smart. He's a very smart fighter.
I agree. Well, that was why. All right. Before Coach came on here, I was asking, okay, if we have CJB from back then and JPM from back then, now which team of JPM will we put against? Which one would win still today as their current self? That's hard because you got Mike P, who is still in that best shape, right? Jody can still go. Raymond could still go, right? Jason, I know, can still go.
Yeah.
Trevor,
give Trevor 2 week notice.
No matter what shape Trevor's in, I still think you don't want to be in front of him.
You get an angry Trevor out there.
And then
watch out.
Damon's just always in the best shape.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that the styles would make the fights.
Yeah.
No matter what their age is, I really think that the styles may make the fights. And that person that had that little advantage with that speed may not have that little advantage anymore.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? What would be a matchup you'd love to see? Like if those teams came back, who would you love to see them fight?
Like as far as fighting each other, like who would I pick to fight right now?
Like, I don't know. Yeah. Who would you, if let's say the Jody, Mike P, and Raymond, if they came out, who would you want them to fight? Who would you love to see them fight?
Oh, it'd have to be
like
Jason.
The old JB team or right now? Maybe you guys now.
No, I would take Jason, Damon, and Ross.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jason, Damon, and Ross.
Jeez. Not Trevor.
Trevor's another thought in there. Yes, Jason. If I had the four: Jason, Trevor, Ross, and Damon.
Wow, man.
Yeah. Man, you know what? I think before we go again, we keep saying this, but I think one of the best things you always did, you found, was someone that maybe people didn't always see as, like as the top fighter in the world, but was always a great team fighter. And you plugged them in the team and you knew how to win with that person. Right. And they played or you found someone that played a valuable role in a team as a leader or as a veteran. Right. I think some people are missing that right now in teams. I don't see as many, like everyone just wants the youngest, hottest talent right now. And it's like, hey, we need an older guy, even if they're not fighting on the team, to be that person there to keep everybody in check. It's not just the coach. It's also,
the youngest, hottest talent is not always going to win. I mean, and right now you see a lot of players that want to be coaches and a player at the same time. You can't do that.
Well,
That's not, you let your coach do the job. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's why you're on the team. Your coach does the job. A player cannot coach and really focus on his fighting. And you see that so much now. The players running around being coaches, and I don't agree with that at all.
Well, and a lot of it is because it's hard because in what we do, you go, if I want to be successful at this thing, I'm going to look at who's the most successful at this thing, do what they did, and I should be successful. And Raymond did that when he kind of was out there, and Hugh Smith would say, like, I'm not the coach. These guys are coaching themselves. Okay. This is an outlier. All right. He's an outlier. Jotty, right? We all put up in the highest regard, right? Just as good. He still had coaches, right?
Yeah. When he came back, he had Richard.
He still had a coach.
Yeah.
So you can't. Sometimes you got to look at something and go, this is an outlier. This is not the norm. This is not something that should be duplicated.
For a player, the biggest thing is believing in your coach. If you don't believe in your coach, then you really shouldn't be on that team because you're not going to excel and you're not going to listen.
Everyone's
So I mean, you really have to believe in your coach, and your coach, if you're on my team, it's because I believe in you. Nobody's on my teams because they're my friends. They're on the team because I believe eventually we're gonna do this.
And you repeat that in like every meeting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do say in almost every meeting. Yeah. Nobody's on the team because they're my friend.
Right.
It's
exactly.
But that's a good point. That everybody, your best fighters in the world, your best teams in the world, your best players in the world, no matter what, your best combat sports in the world, everybody has a coach. Everybody's told what to do in between rounds. Everybody's told what to do at halftime. Everybody's told what to do between every play. It's, when people say, we don't need a coach. Okay, you're going to eventually fall off.
Right. Obeyed is saying he apologized for all the times he didn't listen. Oh man, this is good stuff. Oh, Tony Cargill watching now. Oh man, so Coach, I hope that we see you this weekend because I'm excited to see you. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm excited to hear that you're having fun with your company and that you're getting your school star back and you're coaching, of course, with boxing. But we'd love to see you in our sport. So thank you for all you did.
I'm going to try to make it this weekend. I am.
Yes, sir. I would love that. All right, Alex.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.